And welcome back to Illini Drive. It is Wednesday, and it is Halloween. Happy Halloween to everyone.
Happy Halloween.
And it is myself, Jake Hasan, with Alex Aguilera and Tommy Polcyn. Nathan DeHaan cannot make it tonight, so it's just us three. And we have a lot to bring to you today. First off, we will preview the Illinois-Minnesota game this weekend, Saturday at 2:30 at Memorial Stadium. Dad's weekend.
Yeah? Is your dad coming down?
I think so. I think he's coming down for Saturday, but, I mean, I'll be in the press box anyway, so I won't be able to, do anything during the game.
Nice humble brag there.
Nice, yeah.
I'll be
Nice
in the field
nice
if it
poker.
makes you.
All right.
I have the option to go to the press box. I'm more of a field guy. I like to live amongst the players and
Yeah.
the commoners.
Right. The commoners on the sideline, yeah. A lot of commoners on the sideline
Yeah.
with you.
You know.
Yeah, just you and Josh Whitman just
Yeah, me and Josh.
chatting it up. Oh,
Shout out Josh.
just Josh, not even the Whitman there.
No, we're a first name
First
basis.
name basis,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, wow.
No.
Look at you go.
I wish. That'd
Look
be
at
dope.
you go.
I'd be a big fan of that. So, Josh, feel free. Mr. Whitman, feel free to hit us up sometime. I'd love to be friends.
Would love to be friends. Would love to hang out sometime.
Yeah, you know.
Alex will be down there, right? You'll be there.
Yes.
Me and
yes, I
Alex
will.
like to hang out there sometimes.
Yeah. It's a great time. Great time.
Good little squad down there. Feel free to come hang out with us peasants sometime if you
We'll-
feel up to the task.
We'll be down there in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be there.
Not-
Pre-game.
Yeah,
Not
we'll be
very
there all
second,
game,
third.
just nice and. Oh, I might actually pop up there for some hot chocolate. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, Papa, just make a quick appearance.
If we don't get
Hey,
hot
guys.
chocolate in the
Cameo.
tent.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you all
Gotta
year.
get the rounds. Say what's up.
See how everyone's doing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, Illinois is 9.5 point underdogs going into this game. It's probably your last chance at a win. Maybe.
No,
This or-
Nebraska's pretty stinky too.
Maybe this or Nebraska.
I think Nebraska's a legit shot, and this is a legit shot. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm picking us to win either of them.
Yeah. I think Illinois is probably going to be underdogs in both of those. But Illinois does play well on Dad's weekend, historically. So,
Yeah.
I do remember the last few Dad's weekends. We played Michigan State pretty decently.
Yeah.
And we played, was it Wisconsin? No.
Wisconsin was last year.
Ohio State last year.
Was it?
Wasn't
It
it?
was not Ohio State last year.
I think it was.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it
No,
was.
we
No,
went to
it
we
wasn't.
we
We went
the
to
Ohio
Ohio
State
State.
game was in Columbus. It was Wisconsin.
That's
almost
right, because
positive.
Yeah.
we went last year. Maybe, I don't know.
Usually if
I
we
feel
play
like it was
Ohio State,
Ohio
we go to Columbus.
I feel like it was Ohio State one of these years, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Regardless, though, I mean, it's cool. Like, my dad and mom will be there sitting there watching the game by
Yeah.
themselves, unfortunately, because like I
It's
said,
like all of
being
my parents
amongst
will be in the stands while we're all
Yeah.
working. I feel
Well,
bad.
my sister will be with my parents, so they'll be fine. But Minnesota did lose to Nebraska a couple weeks ago. They only beat Indiana by 7 this past week. I mean, other than that, they've been pretty solid. Their only losses coming to number 19 Iowa, Ohio State, and Nebraska's really their only bad loss. So, I mean, this is a Minnesota team that's played better. Oh, they lost to Maryland too. My bad. But, I mean, we saw what Maryland did to Illinois, so that doesn't really say much. So, I mean, Minnesota, I feel like, has been better this year than we expected them to.
Yeah, the way they started out didn't look as good. They have come back a little bit. I feel like in a talent perspective, we match up pretty decently. Like, we have more or less like the same kind of rosters at this point in their rebuilds. I mean, they're both very much rebuilding programs. It's very out there. Everybody kind of knows that. It's kind of the matter of the hotshot up-and-coming coach PJ Fleck versus Lovie Smith, who's been in the NFL, kind of done it before, and obviously they're kind of doing it in very different directions. Is this PJ Fleck's first year or second year?
It's
This is his first year, right?
No.
I think it's his first year.
I thought it was
No,
the
I
second.
think it's the second year because that Western Michigan team was my freshman year, and
Was it?
and then he got hired right after that. So this is his second year.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I mean, so PJ
I mean,
Fleck,
regardless,
obviously.
yeah.
I mean, either way, like it takes a bit to turn these teams around. And I want to say before the season they lost either some quarterback or some big running back that was supposed to be really good this year. And unfortunately, I could be wrong with that, but from what I remember, I think they lost a pretty big part of one of their teams. And so it's interesting. I mean, there's definitely some things there where since we won't be with Hardy Nickerson this week, maybe we see some defensive changes. I mean, do you think we get A.J. Bush or MJ?
I have a feeling it's gonna be AJ because
MJ might be out.
MJ is probably gonna be out because Isaac Trotter, who's from the Tuesday Thursday show, told me today that MJ was wearing a green jersey today,
which means concussion protocol.
Concussion protocol. So I assume that if it's Wednesday and he's still in concussion protocol, I assume they'll play it. Even if he is maybe cleared to go at the last second, they'll probably play it safe.
There's no reason to push him.
Right. Correct. And so you're going to see AJ. I mean, there's not really a lot of expectations, I think, that come with that. I mean, we've seen AJ be less than spectacular, to put it nicely.
I mean, maybe we get the AJ we saw at the end of the game last week. Is that a possibility, you think? I mean, I don't know.
The AJ
we get Dominic Stampley out there again, go for another 100 yards.
The thing with the Dominic Stampley catches was that it was more of Stampley just running past everyone.
Why not? Maybe we can do that again. Who knows?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I
definitely
we'll
wouldn't
take anything at this point.
For sure. But
yeah, I mean, I would love to see that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just think that we're more likely to see the AJ that we saw before he got benched for MJ. I mean, there was a reason that a fifth-year grad transfer got benched for a true freshman. So my hopes for that are not high. But on the flip side of that, you still have this running game. And, I mean, Reggie Corbin, who had a career-high 155 yards last week, and he's been unbelievable this season. He's second nationally, first in the Big Ten in yards per carry at just over 8 yards a carry. He's second in all of college football with runs of 70-plus yards. He's got 2 of those. Second in runs of 60-plus yards. He's got 3 of those. 50-plus, 5 of those. 40-plus, 5 of those as well. He's third in all of college football in runs of 30-plus and 20-plus, 2. And then he is second in football with scrimmage plays of 50 yards or more. 300-yard games. I mean, he's been unbelievable. So, I mean, you let Reggie Corbin do his thing and you just keep feeding him, good things are going to happen because obviously Corbin can rip off these big plays. He can carry you. He played well in a blowout game against Maryland last week. So I think that's just got to be your focal point. I think Reggie's just got to be the guy you go to in this game.
Do you think there's any chance we see Mike Epstein back on the field for this?
I mean, there's always a chance. Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like the way they kind of brought him in this year, it was kind of like, oh, I don't know, like, we kind of want to be cautious with him. Now he's kind of a little tweaked out, injured again a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point in the season, with Reggie playing so well, and, I mean, we saw a little bit of Bonner last week who looked okay. Is there even, I mean, why even bring him back almost at this point?
I don't think there's the need to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why not kind of let him get healthy, be ready for his junior season, and just be ready to tear it up?
Yeah.
I think if Epstein's ready, you play him because he's also one of those explosive guys who can rip off a long play for a touchdown or, move the chains, whatever it may be. If he's healthy, sure, you can incorporate him as a change of pace, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Throw a different look in there. But I think, if you're worried about him being injured or him nursing some kind of injury, I think you just sit him. There's no reason to risk making an injury worse. But the rushing attack is going to have to be the focal point. I mean, Minnesota's giving up 4.9 yards per carry. They're giving up over 150 yards a game on the ground. So that adds up to really good formula for Illinois.
Minnesota gave up 53 points to Nebraska. Mm-hmm. Like, that's saying that this defense is not that good.
Yeah, but neither is Illinois. So.
Don't get me wrong. Our defense isn't great either. They've actually been very bad, as most would say.
People forget that.
Yeah, people do forget that. But I don't know. People do forget.
No, but, not the last couple weeks.
But what I'm saying though is like, I think this very well could be like something like a 53-45 game or something like that, where both defenses just don't exist. We're playing the Pac-12. It's a 10:30 kickoff, and yeah, I mean, if we get any sort of passing game going, I think that's where we go and win this game maybe, because I think that we're gonna get those rushing yards. We're gonna get a couple rushing touchdowns possibly. But what's going to actually go out and win us this game, if we are going to go win it, is a few passing touchdowns from A.J. Bush.
Yeah.
Really?
Huh?
You think that?
I mean, you have.
I don't
to.
think that we're gonna do it necessarily,
Okay.
but I think that that's like how, like, what the recipe is to go from just maybe hang around a little bit to actually going out and winning it.
If you want to win the game, you have to have AJ Bush throw some touchdowns, make some plays through the air. Because if you just focus on the running game the entire time, Minnesota's gonna key in on that.
They're just gonna load the box,
Right.
Just like
And
a lot
then-
of these teams have been doing.
Right. And I mean, the offensive line's been great. Reggie's been great, but I mean, if he's facing 8 in the box every time, there's not going to be a lot of room to run. So I think you're going to see a lot of Reggie. I think you're going to see even some screen passes to him probably, especially if AJ can't make some of the throws that you're going to be asking him to. But I am interested to see what the defense does. Like you said, Tommy, Nebraska put up 53 on them. That's by far the most Nebraska scored in a Big Ten game this season. The next highest is 34 against Northwestern. So, I mean, this is a winnable game. AJ Bush has to make some plays, and he doesn't have to be as good as he was in garbage time, or he doesn't have to make the long throws that he made in garbage time against Maryland, but he also can't be as bad as he was previously. You have to find somewhere in the middle there.
If we get the AJ that we kind of saw for a lot of this season, where he was kind of just very errant on his throws, not making a lot of plays, and we can't get anything going with him, what are the chances we see like a Matt Robinson? Which I don't think would be a bad thing.
I don't think it'd be a bad thing, but
like, once again, I feel like AJ would just have to have like another just like terrible game.
it'd have to be another.
That's what I'm saying. Like if he has a
Okay.
really bad like first half, maybe.
Then
Do you think we see like a Matt Robinson in the second half?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like I see it as a possibility.
How do you think the offense would run through him? Same kind of
It's
play. I mean, he's the same style more or less.
Yeah,
He's very
I
mobile.
don't think he runs as much.
He doesn't run as
No.
much, but he's mobile. He can move a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
he can move around the. He can move around the pocket if he has to.
He ran a little bit in high school. I mean, it's
Yeah.
different. Obviously, you're playing against a Big Ten defense, even if it is Minnesota.
But I mean, the fact that he can move
Yeah,
is helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a California kid, isn't he?
Yes.
So he's out there running that West Coast offense. Like he knows
Right.
what Rod Smith wants. He was Rod Smith's handpicked guy.
Right.
True.
So, I mean, you could, even argue that this offense is kind of tailor-made for someone like Robinson. Because,
It's just because like we haven't seen him play enough,
Right. You saw him in what? Garbage time against Penn
Yeah.
State and against Purdue?
and for the most part, I felt like those were a lot of run plays. You know,
Right.
he didn't necessarily get to throw the
At
ball.
that point,
Right.
he's just running out the clock.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't ask him to do a lot. It would have to, because AJ started the Maryland game, 1 for 3 with 2 picks before he got benched, something like that?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
something along those lines. So I think it'd have to be like that. I think it'd have to be something like that where he's just terrible. Like he throws a couple picks early, just absolutely nothing's happening. Like where to the point where he's even taking the ball out of Reggie's hands by giving it up. So I don't think it's out of the question to see Robinson, but
We're not honestly. It's a toss up as to how the offense would run under him though.
right. It depends. I don't see it as a very likely thing that happens, but if it does, I would be interested to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I would be very interested to see what happens with that because, let's assume MJ comes back next week. Robinson's then played in 3 games, and he would only have 1 more before you burn that red shirt. So that would be an interesting thing to watch. But, that'd be – I think it's a possibility for sure. I think that's something that we could see. But AJ would have to be really, really bad because I think they want to keep Robinson as fresh as possible. Because, even Cam Miller took it. It was a direct snap for a rushing play, but still.
Cam Miller's a quarterback.
What?
Cam Miller's a quarterback.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, he got in before Robinson last week.
Well, yeah.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. It was a direct snap. It was just kind of like a run the clock, like just kind of, it wasn't really anything. But, that's what I'm saying. Like, even he got in before Robinson. So I feel like they're maybe trying to save that red shirt for Robinson.
Yeah. Also, the fact, too, like, AJ also has been banged up this season as well. So, in case he goes down, I think you only see Robinson in the scenario where, like, you just have to put him in.
Right, in the scenario that AJ gets hurt.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so, how...
Either AJ plays bad or he gets hurt. I think that's when you see Matt Robinson. Other than that, I think AJ's in there for the whole game.
I think even if AJ plays bad, I think he'd have to play really bad
Right.
to warrant bringing Robinson in. Like, and also if you're going to bring Robinson in, like even if AJ's really bad, if the defense is giving up points and Minnesota's running away with it, then there's no point in bringing Robinson in. But if it's close, like if the defense is forcing punts and not just letting Minnesota score at will, and like you have an idea that you can get an offense going if some of these throws were to be completed, then maybe you bring in Robinson and think, okay, this is a winnable game and AJ's not going to get us there.
So no matter who's the quarterback, what are we looking at for predictions?
I mean, I'm still taking Minnesota.
What's your score?
Ooh.
38-24 Minnesota.
I was going to say 42-28 Minnesota.
What is it, like 45? Yeah, 45-28 Minnesota.
Yeah. So we're all in that same range. I mean, I wouldn't pick us in this.
Yeah.
I think it's winnable.
Yes.
Again, if we do get great quarterback play, if we get some passing touchdowns, if we get an offense that can move the ball consistently down the field, then this is a winnable game. But, I mean, we haven't really shown much to say that we will get that. And so as of right now, I think you have to pick against Illinois. But as we said, it's doable.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pick against Illinois because you saw what happened the last couple of weeks. I mean, ever since the Penn State game, I mean, outside of the Rutgers game, outside of the Rutgers win, you haven't seen anything that gives you confidence in picking Illinois. I mean, there's just nothing there. And Tommy, you said you need great quarterback play to win this game. I don't even think you need great quarterback play. I think you just need adequate quarterback play.
Good.
I mean, just average. I mean, just someone who can make 5, 6, 7-yard throws and at least make something happen. I mean, they don't have to be deep balls. They don't need to be deep shots. I mean, it just has to be something where the receivers can catch it and make Minnesota respect the passing game at least a little bit, so they're not just keyed in on Reggie the entire time.
That's where I kind of mentioned earlier, like, do we necessarily, need great quarterback play? Because, I mean, at the same time, our run game has been probably like the only good thing about this offense.
One of the best in the nation.
Right. So, you don't necessarily need to have, or AJ doesn't need to have like a stellar game in order to win this game.
Right. Just average.
Right.
Just something.
But I think with the point saying about, I think us in Minnesota being, I guess, kind of there, I could kind of see that though, because we've both, Illinois allows, 37 points per game, whereas Minnesota 28. We also average, I think, about the same yards per game. Or no, I take that back. Yards allowed. Oh, wait, no. I take that back again.
Research department
Pass
not coming
yards,
up strong
pass
today.
yards. I'm sorry, pass yards per game. We average about the same. So, I mean, for the most part, I think if you take away the 3-game stretch that we had where we played awful, it's a pretty like solid matchup where they're pretty even teams. But once again, with that 3-game stretch that we had where we played terrible, I think that's where you give the edge to Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, a month ago we were saying that this game was probably a win because I mean, since then, so I mean, a lot changes. I mean, you said that without this 3-game stretch, that these three losses.
Or say we lose the 3 games, but we don't get blown out.
Right. Then I think you're a little bit more confident. I mean, it's kind of like what we talked on Monday. It's the way that Illinois has lost. It's not just that they lost. It's in the manner in which they've lost. And it's just how they've gotten crushed.
Yeah. And once again, this is, from here on out, this defense needs to have a win. And I feel like this is a game where, they could possibly, I'm not betting that they're going to have a great game, but, this would be a game where we could see improvement and they don't give up as many points as they have.
Right.
I think the sleeper on this is the defense because maybe we actually do see those changes that maybe a lot of those issues could have been with Hardy Nickerson's game planning or his play calling. We don't know. So, I mean, maybe we actually get those guys out there. We get they announce who's going to take over the defense?
I'm trying to find that right now.
I know they upgraded or they promoted one of like the linebackers coaches or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I can't think of the name, but whoever it was, I mean, maybe that game plan itself changes this defense a little bit. Right. And if we get that, then who knows?
Yeah, I'm interested because that was going to be my next point. We don't know, at least I don't know, I can't find it anywhere, who's going to be interim defensive coordinator, but I mean...
Who would you want to be calling the plays then for the defense?
Lovey?
If you had to choose right now.
Honestly,
I think
Lovey,
Lovey would probably be a good.
I would say.
Calling the plays, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, let him. He's known as a defensive coach.
That might be what's
He ran
happening.
a great defense in Chicago for years. I mean, obviously those coordinators there, but a lot of that was under his tutelage, I guess you could say. And I mean, I think that he just would be a great fit for it. I mean, why promote somebody who doesn't have the experience that he has with defenses? I mean, Lovey probably at least should know this team better than anybody else. Why wouldn't he be the one to take over?
Yeah, it seems like, now that I think about it, Lovey's probably the most likely to be calling it because we know he's not calling it for the offense.
Right.
So,
True.
yeah, so here I just saw Lovey's going to be calling the defensive plays for this game.
That's good.
I like
think
that.
that could be good.
I think that's a good
That could
idea.
be really nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I think maybe we do see some changes because, I mean, Hardy resigns. I mean, you're probably going to see overall the same scheme or same type of plays. But, I mean, if you change a couple things here or there, whether that be positioning or when you call certain plays, I think that could definitely help a lot. It's going to be really interesting to see if those changes happen because, like you guys said, the defense has been pretty bad all year, and they are a sleeper now that these changes are happening. And, I mean, they're going to have to be able to show something if you want to stay in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
All right, well, we all picked Illinois to lose this game. We will take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about some storylines in the NBA, a little update on the MLB, a couple notes from that. The Boston Red Sox had their parade today, and more of sports stuff when we come back.
More sports stuff.
More sports stuff when we come back from this break. All right, and welcome back to Illini Drive. I am Jake Hasan with Alex Aguilera and Tommy Polcyn. We were going to move on from football, but Tommy just brought up something really interesting that is going on with high school football. So, Tommy, tell the people.
Yeah, so I was reading up a little bit. As most people know, I've brought up before, I went to Notre Dame College Prep, go Dons. Same class, or same conference as Jake, who went to Nazareth Academy, as you can see. And
Well, they can't see. They'll see it on YouTube in a couple days.
But anyway, so for those who are familiar with Illinois high school football playoffs, it's kind of a big deal. It's really fun. It's nice and cold out. It's real good football weather. And my Notre Dame Dons, they had a big first-round win against St. Ignatius this past week. Ty Gavin had a 99-yard touchdown return, and a lot of good stuff happening there. Naz also won their playoff game. They are on to Hersey this week. And but more important than that is the Catholic League Super Conference that was announced in the beginning of October, which is just insane. So basically what's going on, and I'm sure some of you are probably aware of this, is the ESCC, which is Notre Dame, Joliet Catholic, Marist, Naz, a bunch of very big,
Bennett.
good athletic schools are combining with the Catholic League, which includes Loyola, Montini, a bunch of other just unbelievable schools, Rita, Mount Carmel. Yeah. So basically, they are all combining to become a 24-team Catholic League. And so what's going to happen is there are 6 different conferences within it. There's the 6 different divisions within it. So there's the Blue Division, Brother Rice, Loyola, Marist, Mount Carmel, which is just unbelievable.
That's wild.
That alone, unreal. Then there's the Green Division. Another unbelievable one is Montini, Notre Dame Dons, Providence, and St. Rita, which is those 2 divisions alone could have 3 to 4 state champions every year.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It's that good.
It's wild.
Then you get the Orange Division of Bennett, De La Salle, Naz, and Lawrence. Another 4 very good teams. So I don't know. I'm assuming this is for all sports. And if it is, then that's going to be crazy for not only football, but for basketball.
For baseball.
Lawrence is always awesome. Naz is good. Bennett's always good.
Rita,
I don't know much about
Rita
De La
and
Salle.
Carmel are always
Rita's really
too.
good. I think that's unbelievable. So then you keep going. You get the white division of Fenwick, Joliet Catholic, Marmion, and Ignatius. I don't know much about Marmion. The other 3 are all very good year in, year out. Purple of Carmel, Marion Central, Pats, and Viator. Pats is pretty stinky usually, But aside from them, that's a very good division still. You look at the rest of this, you've got DePaul Prep, Leo, Marian Catholic, and St. Joseph in the red division, and that rounds it out. So, I mean, this is crazy because the ESCC in itself and the Catholic League in itself were both already extremely good conferences, both very competitive, both would have teams in the finals at least, if not winning state championships every year in every sport.
Right.
I mean, now you could, like, looking top to bottom, in football this year alone, Brother Rice is contending, Loyola's contending, Loyola contends every year.
Right.
Marist is always in it. They're a very good team this year. Mount Carmel is a powerhouse. They won, probably 6 state championships in the last 10 years, I guess.
If not more.
Yeah. You look down, you've got Montini, who's just been a powerhouse forever. Jordan Westerkamp, Nebraska alum, is in the NFL now. Notre Dame's interesting in these top 2 leagues because they're either very good or very bad.
Yeah.
There's
never an in-between with them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the alums we have right now. We've got Chris James, who's one of the 3 starting running backs for Wisconsin outside of Jonathan Taylor. We've got a bunch of great athletes out there. I mean, it's very hit or miss. But, I mean, on the on years, right now, it's a very, very good team. Providence is always great. Rita's great.
Right.
I mean, and then you just go on. The list goes on and on. So, I mean, you could really legitimately, there's 1 through 8A. Most of these teams will be 5A or higher, I would say.
They have to be.
Notre Dame kind of...
Because Naz is 7 right now.
Notre Dame is 6 right now, and they kind of fluctuate between 6 and 8 from a year.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking the best of the best here to make this super conference, literally is what they're calling it. I mean, we were saying before we went back on air, they have to do their own type of playoff system here because, I mean, if you let them play with other competition... I mean, they're just going to run through everybody else. Whoever comes out of it, it's going to be unbelievable.
If the state playoff format does stay in its current iteration, you could say, you could really be getting the 5A, 6A, 7A, and 8A champions will all be from this league.
One conference,
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be unbelievable.
As the public kid in the studio, public school kid in the studio, it's just nuts. It's just not going to be fair.
Yeah, it's not.
It won't be fair.
It's really not. And it's really cool. I mean, it's interesting. I'd like to kind of get more into this, get more reasoning behind it, and see what the actual...
Well, I can tell you what the reasoning is. Money. Because this is gonna make a buttload of money.
They're going to make a lot of money.
Because all the fan bases of those schools are rabid about football especially, but I mean even baseball and basketball, the fans of those schools are really intense, so they'll be at every game, and I'm sure some of these games will end up being televised. I mean,
so as of right now it's only for football.
Okay.
I
bet you that becomes,
I wouldn't be surprised if football succeeds. It's probably going to expand.
I bet you that becomes baseball in the very near future too.
It'd be really interesting for baseball. Because these are all great baseball teams, too.
Exactly. So that'll be really interesting. I feel like this is just a test, and then it's going to do really well, and then they say, okay, we're going to do this with baseball, and then that's going to go really well. Yeah, because, I mean, when you take the best of you're pretty much taking the best teams from each class and putting them all together. I mean, that's obviously going to do well. That's the best competition against the best competition.
That's awesome.
It's what people pay to see.
Yeah.
And they are going to pay to see it.
And the colleges are going to look at that too. They're going to see the best of the best going up against each other.
There's going to be so many scouts at those games.
That's going to help the schools with so much enrollment too, because everybody's going to be wanting to go to NAS, to Notre Dame, to Fenwick, to all these schools. That's going to be interesting.
As if they didn't already either.
Right.
I mean, even more so. Yeah. I mean, that's really interesting. I'm excited to see
the
how
quotes from it. So it says, school leadership felt strongly that combining the football portion of the leagues would lead to increased parity among programs based on like enrollment, football participation, and team success. The committee wrote in a statement. With schools playing opponents more similar to themselves, the opportunity to garner success and grow programs is great. Most importantly, the 2 illustrious leagues share in their Catholic mission and put faith formation, academics, and the maturation of young men at the forefront.
So that translates to we're tired of just bulldozing everybty else, so we need better competition. Is pretty much what that translates to.
This is gonna be wild.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna see.
You're gonna get 6-5, 4-3 teams that are making the state championship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be unbelievable. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be crazy to watch. Moving on though from that, Illinois basketball is back on Friday. They play an exhibition match against Illinois Wesleyan here in Champaign at the State Farm Center. A lot to follow with this basketball team. Obviously, there's a freshman 5-star Ayo Dosunmu. He's here. Samba Kane's here to replace the departed Greggy Boybedine and Laron Black and Michael Finke. You also have the second year of the Trent Frazier experience, another year of Kipper Nichols, Aaron Jordan. I mean, most of this team is still together with a couple new additions. A couple, obviously, key guys leave, but, I mean, how do we feel about this team? I mean, obviously, it's an exhibition, and, I mean, we expect Illinois to win, but, I mean, I'm excited to see what this team looks like so far because we've had so much hype around them for 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah. The exhibition will for sure be interesting. I mean, I think they'll win very easily. They should, hopefully. Yeah. Excuse me. Wow. Sorry.
Wow, Tommy. Wow.
In terms of the actual season, it's really hard to say. They're so young. These bigs are so inexperienced. What I will say, I do expect this backcourt to be one of the best, if not the best, in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I think that a combo of Ayo, DeMonte, Trent, you get Andres Feliz, who's coming in, who should be very good and be able to eat up a lot of minutes. I mean, you could really include Tevian Jones in there if you want. I mean, they've got as much talent as anybody in the country, front to bottom, outside of maybe a Duke or North Carolina. They have the athletes there. They have Trent's proven. Andres was great. I mean, he was a NJCAA All-American last year. It was some JUCO in Florida. I forget the name of it. And then, I mean, obviously, DeMonte was coming off an ACL injury last year. He showed a lot of flashes of being a very good player, and I think that he might turn into what that initial – I mean, when we recruited him initially, he was a top 60, 70 prospect.
Yeah.
And people forget about that just because he kind of tore his ACL. So, I mean, we haven't seen DeMonte at what he should be.
And tearing an ACL, like a major injury like that, is nothing easy to come back to. Like, even in the pros, guys usually take an extra year even when they come back to shake that rust off. So, I mean, for a dude who's 18, 19 years old, he's got to shake. I mean, it's more so for him. So, and I mean, part of that hype that I was talking about is people have been talking about him and how good he's looked this offseason. Yeah. I mean, that's part of that because obviously Mark Smith leaves. Now maybe DeMonte gets some extra minutes. You get some extra run with him and see what he can do. Yeah,
I mean, continuing with those guards still, I didn't even mention Aaron Jordan, who's back for his senior year. He should be great. You know he's going to shoot the ball well.
Percentage for most of the
You've got
season.
him. You've got Alan Griffin, who's looked awesome so far in what I've seen. So, I mean, the guard talent is there. It's ready. Yeah. They are ready to take over. They're ready to kill it.
Right.
The big men are the question. So you've obviously got Kipper, who's a small stretch four. He's not going to leave the floor. He's going to be awesome. He looks amazing from what I've seen. He's cut down some weight. He's improved his jumper. So he should be great. That's not a question. The question is where they go from there because you've got Giorgi Besnavelli, you've got Samba Kane, and you've got maybe Adonis De La Rosa by like December, hopefully.
Yeah.
So he's the big grad transfer from Kent State. Big, athletic, awesome 7-footer. Looks like a great player.
Pretty good.
He looks awesome from what I've seen. He's very aggressive. He dunks. He's not just like some big stand-around big man who's going to sit in the paint. He's athletic. He likes to run. So, I mean, if we get him healthy, if he's comfortable from that ACL injury, what we just talked about is not easy. But if we do get him like that, then who knows? This could be a very sneaky good team. But a lot of this is going to rely upon how ready Samba Kane is, how ready Giorgi Besnavelli is. And, I mean, outside of that, it'll be interesting because, I mean, we're going to be playing – it looks like we might be getting a lot of small ball. We might get –
You're definitely getting a lot of small ball.
We might be getting some lineups that look something like Ayo, Trent, some other guard. Then you have Kipper – or Tevian at the 4 and Kipper at the 5.
That's really small. That's really
I could see it. I mean, it depends on who we're playing. Like that'd be a quick, very athletic roster. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That'd be a bunch of guys that could jump out of the building.
Yeah. So, I mean, the size won't match up with most teams. It's an interesting way to look at it and something you might want to do. Look at other options. There's Anthony Higgs is new. He's another big athletic. He's kind of got that Kipper vibe to him, but much younger, and he's kind of raw.
I think he could be that kind Greggy Bogbading type of like, you don't see him as much in the beginning, starts to get a little bit of a longer leash, a little bit, and then he kind of becomes a bigger part of the rotation come January, February.
Higgs is nice. He's got a lot of talent. I mean, he's for sure very athletic. He's got a lot of, he's got a nice jump shot from what I've seen, and he can finish in the paint. He's listed, I think he's 6'8" or 6'9", but he
6'8".
He plays more of a small forward kind of role than a power forward actually. But with that height, you can obviously slot him in at one of the at either a power forward or even a center if you're looking for that big, quick, athletic lineup. So it's an interesting roster. It's a lot more. The nice thing with this year compared to the last year is this is all Brad Underwood's guys.
Right.
So, I mean, this is all people who should hopefully have bought into his system, who are ready to run up and down the floor, who are ready to play tough basketball, shoot the three, and rebound. Because, I mean, that's kind of what he's emphasized in all of his press conferences since day one. He likes to play fast. He likes to shoot threes. He likes to score. And if you can rebound the ball, you're going to be on the floor. So if we can get that done, if these big guys pan out like they hopefully could, Samba Kane looks awesome.
Yeah.
Georgie looks like he's got some moves for a big guy. So, I mean, who knows? It'll be interesting. But if these big guys do show up, this could be a very good team. I'll say that.
So let's go. What do you think starting five on Friday?
On Friday, since it is Wesleyan, I mean,
you got to start like, even if they're only out there for 5 minutes.
My ideal lineup would be.
You got to think everybody's going to get some run, just at least to get.
I think the day one lineup is Io, Trent, Io at the 1, Trent at the 2, Aaron Jordan at the 3, Kipper at the 4, Samba at the 5.
Yeah, I think that's also probably likely. I could see maybe putting in DeMonte at the 3.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
But just because Aaron Jordan is kind of that spark, that scorer off the bench sometimes. So especially if he shoots the ball like he did last year. But yeah, I have about the same, with the exception of who's going to start the 3, either Jordan or DeMonte. But if Samba plays well and then you get De La Rosa back in late November, December, that helps a lot.
His injury happened, I want to say it was January of last year.
It was like January, February.
And the typical recovery time for ACL is 6 to 8 months. So really, he should be healthy right now. I think he's participated in some drills. He's done a little bit of work.
He's probably just not up to full speed yet.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. If we have him ready by Big Ten play, maybe, like that's fine. Because I mean, if he can even give you 15, 20 minutes a night by then you're in great shape. Because all that pressure isn't on Samba then. It's not on Georgie. I mean,
oh yeah, because I mean, you're not starting Big Ten till December,
right?
Really.
If we have him back by December, January, like
right, and I mean those are only games against Nebraska and Ohio State. Really, you don't start Big Ten till January.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's very interesting. I think De La Rosa is the wild card for how well this team could do, just because of the lack of big men as of right now. I mean, who knows what Georgie and Samba can do? Because if they play well, then that's awesome. Then you got 2 solid guys there. But obviously, that's not a given. So I'm very excited to see what this Illinois team can do. What do we think their ceiling is? I think their ceiling is tournament.
Their ceiling is a tournament team. Yeah. I mean, the talent's there. Even with if you're talking from a pure talent perspective, Samba and Georgia are both very talented players. It's just a matter of if they're ready and refined enough to play and compete in a Big Ten level. I mean, you look at those guys in 2 or 3 years, they could be very, very good players.
Yeah.
As of right now, it's just a matter of how ready they actually are. Man. So like really, you're looking at overall ceiling. This could be like, I don't want to say it because like I don't want to say like they can make a run because I mean that's a lot of pressure to put on.
I'm just going tournament. I think ceiling they could make the tournament and at least just getting back there.
It's the farthest round you think they can make. You think they could win a game?
They could win a game.
That's what I'm saying. I think they could.
I'm not saying a run, but they could win
a game. Yes,
a game.
I think if we get real Adonis De La Rosa, if Samba pans out and is ready and is good to be a legit Big Ten contributor, and the guards do what they should, the ceiling in the absolute best case scenario, they could make a Sweet 16.
Oh wow.
This is with a ton of ifs. I mean,
A lot of ifs.
This is not.
That's counting
I
on
would
a lot.
not say that they're going to do this in a million years.
Because
But I'm saying, like, in the perfect world, if
everything would have
go-
to fall in place.
That's
perfectly
exactly what
for
I'm
the-
saying.
Yeah, okay.
It's 100% what I'm saying.
yeah, because
if these guys are all like way ahead of where we think they are, if Adonis is ready, if these guards are what we think these guards could be and what they are, then yes, they could do that. I think they will? No,
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think that at all. I mean, if I had to bet right now whether they will or won't make the tournament, I would say they won't. I don't think they will, but it's possible.
yeah, last
Right.
year, Tommy, you and I said I think we were like at like 18 wins. We said 18 or 19 wins, and they ended up going 14 and 18.
Yeah.
4-14 in conference. I mean, I think the floor for this team, like the basement for this team, is 10 wins. If everything doesn't come
They have
together,
a really tough schedule this year.
right.
And
So-
that's where I think it could be good is that Underwood's putting these guys to the test. He's saying, here's real talent. Let's see how you do.
right.
So right away, we should kind of know what we have with this team. I mean, we open up the year against Gonzaga. So it's going to be tough right away.
So we
So
played Georgetown too before Gonzaga.
Right.
yeah, well, I'm just saying like the
But,
actual like preseason
yeah.
tournament, we open up Gonzaga.
Right.
So it'll be interesting.
But
Who
I love
knows?
it though.
I love
it's,
it.
It's
I'd-
great that we finally get to play some real competition.
I'd rather play a Gonzaga. I mean, Duke's in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
There's some great teams in that tournament. I'd rather go out there, see what we have, show what they got
Mm-hmm.
versus real teams than play Longwood and all these other teams and say, I don't know, maybe they're really good.
Right.
We'll know right away what we are.
In the Maui tournament is Gonzaga, Arizona, Iowa State, Duke, Xavier. Like, there's a lot
You
of
got some powerhouses up in there. So.
top competition in there.
Yeah, it's going to be put to the test right away. I saw today that one of Gonzaga's big players, Tilly something, I can't think of his name.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's out for like 6 weeks
Yeah,
or something,
he's
so
out
we're
with
not going to
injury.
see him. But it's still going to be. I mean, Gonzaga's Gonzaga.
Right,
They're
yeah,
a
they're
top
still
5 team right now.
Very
Right.
good. All right, yeah, that'll be interesting to watch with Illinois. Hopefully, we can finally see something. It'll be exciting to see Io and all those guys. Sticking with basketball, moving to the NBA though, the weird Jimmy Butler saga continues today. Conflicting reports that Jimmy Butler has a 6-week plan to leave Minnesota. Which is weird because that's not really his decision. But the fact that he has a 6-week
He's
plan
got
that
like a
starts,
Weight Watchers plan just to get out of Minnesota.
right, some kind of plan, that step-by-step plan that starts tonight with him not playing against, I forget who they're playing, but with him sitting out the next couple games and then coming back. And I don't know.
I guess
how-
he's trying to pull some Le'Veon Bell type stuff. Like, I don't know. I've never really seen this before, but it's funny.
It's so weird because in the NBA we've seen this stuff like players getting more power and forcing trades and saying, send me here, I'm not going to do this. Like, I mean, Kyrie Irving did it to get to the Celtics. He said, I don't want to play in Cleveland anymore. But now Jimmy Butler's like taking it one step further. Like, all right, here's week by week what I'm going to do. And then at the end of the 6th week, I'm gone. Like, I just don't know how that works. How does that?
I mean, he's kind of just forcing his way out. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, as a soccer fan, he's forcing his way off the team.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't want to play there anymore.
Right. I think I've seen it before, obviously in soccer, but just
It's
from
a lot more
basketball
common in
standpoint,
soccer. Yeah,
this
it's
is
different.
It's
but-
a little unprecedented for the NBA, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this 6-week plan, works out.
I'd love to see him on a different team.
Yeah, and I mean,
yeah.
he does not want to be in Minnesota, so I mean, where do you think he does go then?
I
'Cause
saw
he's probably- 'cause he's not
a
gonna be in
lot of
Minnesota.
a lot of Houston rumors.
If Houston gives up 4 first-round picks for him, that's ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
like I initially saw that they were close to a different trade before that was
With the
basically
Heat.
just PJ Tucker and somebody else. No, it was with Houston.
Was it with
They had a Houston deal like very close. That was
Was it
I think
Milwaukee?
it was-
Did they have a deal with
I think-
Milwaukee too?
maybe, but the Houston one I know offhand was Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and like a first. And they didn't want to give up PJ Tucker, and that was like the breaking point. And I was like, "Are you serious? Like that's nothing." Eric Gordon's okay.
Right.
PJ Tucker is a good role player. And then the first round obviously hurts. But for Jimmy Butler, who's a top 15 player right now, probably,
That's a deal.
yeah, that's nothing. You're giving up nothing for that. And I mean, then you look at that Houston roster, which is James Harden, Chris Paul, Clint Capella, Jimmy Butler, and then I'll play with them. And that team is competing with Golden State.
Yeah. It's super interesting just because it's such a weird thing because he was saying, I'm not going to play, trade me. Then shows up, then starts running practice with the third string guys and beating the starters. And then he's saying, I still want to go. All right, now here's my 6-week plan. By the end of the 6th week, I want to be gone. And it's just so weird. But I think he'd be really cool on the Bucks. I think that'd be really interesting.
That would be
I think Houston would be crazy as well.
He would love Milwaukee too, going back there after going to Marquette.
Right.
Mhm.
That'd be awesome.
Kind of a homecoming type
Yeah.
of deal.
I think he's interesting in New Orleans too. I think that'd be
Pairing up with Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, Julius Randle.
Ooh.
I think that could be really interesting. The Spurs maybe they already have DeRozan there. Maybe try and make something happen with that, or we just
DeRozan, by the way, looks unbelievable.
He's been ridiculous.
He's on my
Yeah.
fantasy team and he's killing it.
Yeah, he's been really good
Big
for them.
fan.
I think he's just trying to stuff it in the Raptors' face.
He
is, and
probably.
And it's great.
It seemed like a great fit for him going to San Antonio. I mean,
Honestly, that trade's worked out very well on both ends.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, Toronto looks awesome, and the Spurs with DeRozan have looked great.
Yeah.
yeah. Although Skip Bayless did say a day ago, "I'll take DeMar DeRozan any day over Kawhi Leonard," which is might be stretching it a little bit.
I don't know. This DeMar DeRozan looks really good.
Yeah, but I mean,
DeMar this season, let's see, hold up. He's the number 1 ranked shooting guard small forward. I'm trying to look at his actual complete stats. It's not one to let me look at him. Right now, he's averaging 28 points a game with 8 assists and 6 rebounds and a 25 player efficiency rating, which is just out of this world.
it's pretty good.
It's really good. His career averages, as if you want to compare, is 20 points a game with 3 assists and 4 rebounds. So he's up 9 points scoring, 5 assists more, and 3 more rebounds per game. It's really good. It's good. He likes San Antonio, I think.
The Raptors are 7-1 though,
or
and
he's
second
just
in the
like
conference.
he's still really mad at Toronto, and this is just
Oh yeah,
This is
I
just
mean,
a middle finger to
I
Toronto.
did not
Raptors.
know that DeRozan went to USC.
yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
But Spurs
More
are
than
He's from
4-2.
Is he?
yeah, he's a Compton kid.
Was
I always kind of just assumed he was Canadian just because, like,
because he played in Toronto.
He's been there forever.
That makes Kyle Lowry Canadian too, I guess.
He had
Yeah, I would've
USC
thought
with
so, too.
Westbrook.
Westbrook was at UCLA.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking
Kevin Love and
yeah.
Westbrook were at UCLA.
Yeah,
together.
that's what I'm thinking.
But yeah, DeRozan went.
USC.
DeRozan went to
DeMarson.
DeMar went to USC.
USC.
and, yeah, he's
Where
a
did-
Compton kid.
Where did Kawhi Leonard go?
Like New Mexico State or something.
Somewhere.
San Diego State.
San Diego
San Diego
State.
State.
Yeah, he's kind of under the radar guy. He
Kawhi's
wasn't
a
like a-
weirdo, man.
Also, I'd just like to say the Bulls are 2-5 and in 9th in the East.
Yeah, it's-
That's so
Dude,
bad.
poor
Zach-
Ori. The Cavs are so stinky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wish he was here just so we could make fun of the Cavs.
They got their first win
Yeah.
yesterday. or 2
like the
days
day
ago.
after they fired Ty Lue, they get a win.
I love that the Lakers stink too.
I think, but didn't we feel like the Lakers were going to be bad
Yes,
regardless?
But
Yeah.
like everybody's like, I don't know, dude. LeBron's gonna give them the playoffs. Like,
Yeah, but then like they never
only
ended up getting anybody else.
Yeah.
They ended up filling out the
like,
roster with
Brandon
nobody.
Ingram's awesome. I really
Right.
like him. Lonzo looks decent, but like
Kuzma's been good.
Kuzma's good. They have some players. It's just like
They don't have anybody established though. It's still all these young guys that they're waiting to blossom, I guess.
I'd say that LeBron guy's pretty established.
Well, you know what I mean.
they've got Rondo.
Outside of
They've got
him-
Lance.
I mean, but those are guys who are like role players,
Right,
like guys
they're
that
veterans
nobody
that-
else wanted.
Yeah, like you
Rondo's
kind of
putting
know what
up
they're gonna
14
do.
points a game and throwing out 9 assists.
And they have 2 wins.
I'm just saying, it's not like
Those
he's,
9 assists a game are all going to LeBron.
JaVale McGee's having a good year so far.
He's
Actually,
he's such a
15
weird
points
guy.
a game. Yeah, he's a freak.
Punching helmet be a freak.
Sorry, JaVale McGee, if you're
JaVale McGee's
listening.
about to walk in the studio in a
That's
couple
fine.
weeks.
That's fair. I deserve it if he does. They've got Michael Beasley.
He's a freak.
Okay, they got Michael Beasley. Ooh,
They've got this guy.
Michael
I've never
Beasley,
heard
I
of.
feel like, has been on 8 teams in the last like 5 years.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of Sviatoslav?
No,
Mikhail.
just that name. This is
Already
the first
no.
name. Nope.
Apparently, he was the second rounder picked by the Lakers this year out of Kansas. He went to Kansas.
I'm okay, ready to see
heard of him.
Lithuania.
His name is Sviatoslav
That's where I
Mikhail.
thought that was going to.
Yeah, wow. Good for him.
He's from Kansas. Like, okay.
Well, he's probably
That's
not
wild.
from Kansas.
Right.
But
He's younger than me. I don't like that.
I mean, thinking about the
There are guys-
players that are
There are
like,
guys at our age that are in the NBA.
Right.
Like it's not.
I mean,
the
This
Rafa-
dude's 4 years younger than me in the NBA. I'm 22.
Rafael Devers is
I'm like-
21. He just
I'm
won
like-
a World Series ring. He's
Yeah.
my age.
I'm like 2-3 months older than Kylian Mbappe, and he's already won a World
Yeah,
Cup.
I mean, Mbappe is just, I don't want to talk
But
about
isn't that common in soccer? Like,
No.
all those guys are so
yes.
young all the time.
Well, yeah, but
Like, because like
just-
Pulisic is,
phenoms,
isn't
yeah.
Pulisic like?
Pulisic.
But he's not as
Pulisic,
good as
whatever.
Mbappe.
Yeah,
But isn't he like 20 or something?
He is 20.
Yeah.
Isn't he really good though too?
He's
Like,
going to be really
Yeah.
good. He's solid so far.
But just the level that Mbappe's on, you can already like
Yeah.
sort of start throwing him in the conversation of being on like that Messi, Ronaldo
I feel
type
like
of
I
level.
see his name on Twitter like every
He's
couple
really
days
cool.
or so.
Yeah, cool guy too.
I just bought him in my FIFA franchise in 19. He's so good.
yeah.
His rating is a 99 speed and a 98 acceleration. Like he's just that
nuts.
much. He's so much faster than everybody else in the game.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's not fair. It's not fair to sit on the couch and watch a guy your age win a World Cup and make
Yeah.
hundreds of
Oh.
thousands of dollars
And
per
probably
game
be
too.
the best player on PSG.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so.
No, that's how I felt. I mean, watching Rafael Devers
Cavani's
win a
up
World
there.
Series ring. It's like that guy is 21 years old. He's the same age as me, and he's on a duck boat today, just popping champagne, catching beers, like
And we're sitting here in the middle of champagne.
Champagne
talking
Urbana.
about-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
for them though.
Yeah.
I mean,
They give us something to talk about.
yeah, right.
True.
Speaking of Champagne, though, and Illinois, Malik Turner got promoted today. I forgot to. He got.
I did
promoted
see that. The
'cause
Seahawks. Yeah, he's on the active
released,
roster.
They released Brandon Marshall and they called up Malik Turner. So
Right. Good
awesome
for
for him. I think he was up for like one game earlier this year, but obviously they like
He
what
killed
he's
it in
done.
their preseason.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
did really well. And then obviously Brandon Marshall just didn't live up to expectations. So they said, Malik, come on up. And I'm excited to see what he can do. Really excited.
We've seen a lot of guys from like that class go under the radar and make huge impacts. Like Justin Hardy's awesome
Yeah.
on the Saints. You look at what's his name with the Packers?
Not Geronimo Allison, right?
No,
I was gonna
Allison's been great too.
He's been
but
really good, yeah.
There's a linebacker.
I can't
Oh,
think
it's
of it.
really gonna bug me.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, a lot of guys from that class have done really well. Hardy, especially, I think, is probably the top guy you think of when you think of that. But
Fedge has been awesome.
but I really hope Malik Turner does well. I really would like to see him continue to do well with Seattle. Obviously, they have Russell Wilson, who's a really good quarterback in the NFL, throwing to him. So really excited to see that. And it's cool to see that happen. Like guys that like we covered like the last 2 years and
Yeah.
see how they did. And then, stuff like that happens where you see
James
them on NFL.
Crawford is the linebacker. He's like this past week. He was the one of the captains for the Packers.
Yeah, that's
He's
awesome.
the captain of special teams. Like that's so cool.
Yeah. No, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like guys that like we watched, guys that we even covered, like you see them go up and then be a captain on the Packers, get called
Yeah.
up by the Seahawks. So it's really cool to see that and see those guys do well. So best of luck to them, obviously. Speaking of the NFL, just last thing here, Tommy, that I wanted to bring to your attention: the Chargers are underdogs by 1.5 against the Seahawks this week.
They are going to win that game.
That is what I'm saying.
The Seahawks
said
have
they
actually
were-
been playing okay football, but yeah, the Chargers are really good.
The Chargers are really good. The Chargers are probably the most underrated team in the NFL right now. And it's because they're stuck behind the Chiefs in the AFC West.
yeah,
And
that's
obviously
very
when you have
fair.
Patrick Mahomes just doing what he's doing every week.
God, he was such a good fantasy pickup.
Right, you
Yeah.
picked him up.
Oh man, I've got
On your 42-man
I've got
team.
no
so-
on my other team. If we want,
I forgot about that team, actually.
So quick update: I'm 8-0 in my regular person league, and I'm 7-1 in my other league. And yeah, just straight up dominating fantasy. I'm 2-0 in my basketball league.
You're 7-1 league, the one with like 50 players or whatever?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's been good. It's
Good
gone
for
really
you,
well.
I guess. Like,
Yeah, it's,
I don't know how you're
Props.
pulling that off, but
it's going well. There's like 8 divisions. We're the second highest scoring team. We're both 7-1.
We.
What?
Just the way you said we for your fantasy
not
team.
I, we.
Yeah.
There's no I in team.
Oh,
Well,
my,
no, it's
oh
not-
my God.
Yeah, I have a co-manager
Oh,
too.
I do.
Oh.
remember
They're
you
all
say- I do
co-managed.
remember you saying that.
Okay, okay.
20 teams. Each team has 2 managers.
Okay.
So shout out PJ, my co-manager and roommate.
Nice.
Yeah. But what I
Good.
was saying with fantasy, though, for my regular person league, I've got 4 Kansas City Chiefs on my team. I've got Mahomes, Kelsey, Tariq Hill, and I just picked up Sammy Watkins over Geronimo, unfortunately.
That's interesting
But-
that Watkins was still available.
Yeah, somebody dropped him for whatever reason last week. So they took him.
After he had a 30-point game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
Weird.
Sammy Watkins
Yeah.
on my team. He's
Weird.
been pretty solid,
So
except
he's
that
just gonna
1
be
week he
chilling
gave
on
me
my bench.
0.
But
Yeah. Fantasy points-wise, the Bears will do really well this weekend.
yeah, they're gonna eat.
What do we think Bears against Bills?
Oh, psh. Well, I'll win, obviously.
35-7 with 2 defensive touchdowns.
How many touchdowns for Mitch?
3.
Nice.
He's gonna have the
Okay.
other 3. They're gonna be 2 of them are gonna be passes to Tariq, and then the other one's gonna be a shovel pass to
Burton.
Burton.
I'm going to say 45-17 Bears win.
You think we give 17 to Nathan Peterman?
Yeah. Well,
45
Venus is a little
45 to
bit-
10.
Oh, okay. I say
Yeah,
I say 35-10, 35-14, somewhere around
Yeah.
there.
Nathan Peterman starting is real good. They have to sit Cleo Mack, right? There's no reason to play him.
Yeah, no.
There's
Unless you
I
just want to shove it in their faces.
I think they're going to do that anyway.
They just signed Matt Barkley to back him up, so
to back up Peterman?
Oh.
Oh, jeez. How soon do we see Barkley? I say at the end of the first quarter.
oh man, I hope so. I hope that's what happens.
But then you get into the weird waters of Matt Barkley revenge game, which could be
That's
a
what
problem.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That could be tough.
All right. Well, that'll
Jake, what are
do
you
it.
gonna be for Halloween?
What am I going to do for Halloween?
Are you dressing up tonight?
I'm not sure. I do have a tiger onesie in my closet. Might throw that on. We'll
Okay.
see.
All right.
Alex, what do you got?
I'm going to be me.
Nice.
Be you, man.
Hey, man, be
Don't
you.
change.
Don't
Yeah.
don't let anyone tell you different, man.
Good.
Always me.
You're just gonna bring this up and then not tell us what you're doing.
Oh, I mean, if you ask him, yeah, I'm gonna be Mike Ditka. It's gonna be fun.
Nice. You're gonna pull that off really
He just
well.
asked
that'd
the
be
question. He's just like, okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Ask me.
Well, no, if you wanted to ask me, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's why he brought up the
If
question. In the
Right,
first
yeah,
place.
that's
I
why he wanted to
ask
be
me
asked.
so bad. Ask
not.
well,
Yeah, sure.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Jason, you going with anything? No. Okay. Well, all right. Well, for myself, for Alex, for Tommy, thank you for listening to Illini Drive. Catch the Tuesday, Thursday crew tomorrow as they round out the week. Have a good weekend. Have a happy Halloween. Alex, hit the music.